You're listening to Overdoing It, the Rhode Island Library podcast. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Overdoing It, where our team of library workers dish about their latest reads, views, and passions alongside fascinating conversations with local luminaries. I am your host, Emily Goodman of the Office of Library and Information Services. My pronouns are she, her. Let's dive in and discover who our guest is today.
Hi there. My name is Elvira Orozco. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the owner and I guess creative director right now of Now or Never Hobby Hub and Social Club, um, a creative lounge, workshop, and art space located in Providence.
A little bit later in the show, we'll talk to Elvira about Now or Never and all of the wonderful things happening there. But before we get into that, let's start out as we always do with what are you reading recently?
I have unfortunately not had as much free time as I thought I would have, but a book that I feel like I always go back to and from time to time reflect upon is The Artist's Way, which is kind of like a book that I started many years ago. I still feel like I haven't fully completed the weekly um, prompts, but it kind of revolutionized and was the catalyst to this whole endeavor. So I feel like that is my favorite go-to.
How did you find it to pick it up initially?
Yeah, unfortunately, TikTok it kept recommending it to me, and I saw a lot of people just really talking about the process and how much it also changed their lives. And I think I was at a place where I really wanted change and really wanted to dive into my creative passions and take it a lot more seriously. So I feel like it was just like perfect timing when that landed kind of in my lap, and yeah, the internet.
That's great. I'm no longer on TikTok, but I was for a while. And I really think that it had me honed to a T. So it's not surprising at all to me that TikTok was the thing that you were like, oh, it got me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. I just finished this book called Good Joy, Bad Joy. It's a fiction title, and the author is escaping me right now, but um, it centers a woman who is almost 90 years old, and she's sort of going through, interestingly, similarly, a place in her life where she's reevaluating all of the choices that she's made and wants to be a little bit different. She's facing losing one of her lifelong best friends, and of course because she's 90, and so she starts to do these, she's always been good, quote unquote good. You've
Mm.
done what you're supposed to do, tried to make all the right choices in life, and now she's realizing that led her to feeling kind of empty and kind of invisible in society, and her best friend was sort of her polar opposite. And so she
Mm.
starts to dip her toes in being like, I'm going to put it in air quotes for our listeners, bad. She does some silly little things that she wouldn't have otherwise done. She steals a lip gloss, real gentle bad things, but really trying to take up space and own herself and her decisions in her life. And it's really beautiful. It also really captures friendship, the female friendship dynamic over time, and it was a really sweet read. So if that's of interest to you or to any of our listeners, I definitely recommend Good Joy, Bad
Yeah.
Joy.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds really actually
Yeah,
really interesting. I have to read that one actually.
there's a bit of heist in it too.
Oh.
It gets a little fun.
Little action.
So what have you been watching recently, or do you watch much?
That's funny, yeah, because I've been trying to get off the TikTok and watch. It's like picking on another form of content. I'm trying to watch more TV lately, and it was Heated Rivalry obviously got me into
Of
watching TV
course.
again because I was like, this is just so good. It made me want to watch more TV. But then recently it's been The Pit just because everyone's been talking about it and recommending it.
Yeah.
And it truly has been like addicting. I did put a little pause on it because I kind of got overwhelmed. But so then I would switch between Parks and Rec because it's a comfort, just a good time, easy watch, and a little bit of Euphoria right now. But
Okay. Have you watched Euphoria before? Is that also a comfort
Yeah.
watch? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, the season's a little bit just like a little bit more heightened again, but I guess in a way, like, I'm familiar with it, so
Okay.
comfort to a degree.
Yeah. And are you still on season 1 of The Pit? Are you into season 2? Right, because season 2 just wrapped up, I think. I
Yeah,
haven't
I'm
watched.
halfway. Yeah, I'm halfway through season two right now, and I am loving it too. But season one was just really good.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of having trouble adjusting to new characters already, but it's okay. It's part of the show. I'm accepting it.
And I know that the premise of The Pit is that it happens all over one day. Is that only for season 1, or no, the whole show
No, yeah,
is
which is like
all
so
one day?
interesting. I've never seen a show like that where yeah, it's every episode is like an hour of their shift. So it also just really like eye opening to see what like healthcare workers really go through in like one shift. Like it could be such a variety. And again, I know it depends on like if you're working in the ER or if you're working in different departments. But I think of a handful of people that I talked to them about it, or like they had a friend that also watched the show. Were like, oh no, yeah, this is exactly what it's like.
Wow. That's incredible. Yeah, I've stayed away from it so far because I feel like it might be too intense for me. Um, I like my shows to be like calm, the
Oh,
antithesis of
100%.
the world. But people do really love it. I feel like I'm eventually going to find my way into
Yeah.
watching it. Maybe in like small doses.
100%.
Yeah.
I definitely don't recommend watching like most of it in like 2 days, which I did do, which is not what I intended to do, but it was just so good. And like I did a lot of like eyes closed and looking
Sure.
away because there's some some
Yeah,
graphic scenes, but
that's
yeah, it
true.
kind of
That's
like
what I've heard too. Yeah.
I was kind of like joking with my. I also kind of work at a brewery too, so, every once in a while. So I would like love to see. I mean, I guess this kind of like what the bear is to some degree, but I would love to see like an industry worker version, like a
Mm.
parody version of just like what it's like when you have to work a double at the brewery and it's really busy and someone gets locked in the bathroom, someone breaks. Yeah, it's like
Yeah. That's somewhere probably in the works somewhere. So yeah, coming soon. Uh,
exactly.
yeah, I feel like I have talked about this on the show before. I've been slowly finally making my way through Stranger Things. So if it gives you a sense of
Mm.
time, um, I'm avoiding The Pit. Who knows if I might see it in 5 years, as I am with Stranger Things, because that one was also like, oh, I don't know if it's for me. I actually thought
Uh-huh.
that it was less intense than it is, so I'm glad that I
Mm.
waited until I was fully ready for it. Yeah, so I've been watching that, but then I also recently started a rewatch. I think it's only my second ever rewatch of Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is just
Mm.
such a good cartoon show. I love it so
That is
much.
that is so interesting because someone the other day mentioned that, just like brought it up, and I just haven't heard that name in years. So it's really interesting to see it brought up twice in the span of like 48 hours.
Maybe it's a sign. Maybe that's
Like
from it.
maybe I gotta watch that one too.
Yeah, great. Uh, yeah. So, is there anything else that you've been like doing recently? Sometimes I like to ask this question and it sparks something. So, is there anything else that you've been, as I like to say, loving recently?
Hmm. Someone had gifted me a model airplane, like building it out of like balsa wood and tissue paper, and I had expressed interest in it, but I wasn't too. Once I got it and I looked at the plans, I was kind of hesitant if this was really for me, but I finally started it, and I'm surprisingly really liking it, and
Mm.
like finding myself like going out of my way to go work on it, and
Mhm.
I'm like almost I'm on the final steps of it, so I'm really excited to see if it comes together, because again I'm kind of like nervous about the whole balsa wood and school glue, but and it says it's guaranteed to fly, so I'm excited to see if I can get this thing to fly. So that's my current like obsession.
Interesting. Will it fly like a paper airplane? You'll throw it, or does it have a motor?
It's rubber band operated, so that's what I'm nervous about. I'm like with the wood part to see
Yeah.
if it like snaps or something. But yeah, it's mostly made out of wood, tissue paper, and rubber bands, and a little propeller, and some other
Interesting.
odds and ends. So we'll see.
I love that. Are you anything of a puzzler? Do you like
You know,
puzzles?
I think I am, and again, I feel like with luckily with this job, with Now or Never, I get to try a lot of things. I feel like I don't get to try a lot of things for too long because then I have to jump onto something else. But there was a period in time where I was also addicted to making to puzzling, especially oh, it's escaping my mind. I don't know if I have it with me, but the Providence ones. There's an artist that makes their paintings, or sorry, their photographs into puzzles.
Ooh,
So in like Providence, so I did a Providence puzzle, and that got me really into puzzles.
that's cool. I really like jigsaw puzzles, and people are always commenting like, "Oh, like how long do you leave them up?" And I'm like, "I don't know, like a couple days just to feel accomplished." And then I just break it all down and then I donate
Hmm.
it or I give it to somebody else. I do a lot of like swapping with people, so we're not all buying puzzles all the time. But I feel like that one would be good to frame once you finish. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I kind of regret not doing that one. I think we just had to move it because I did it in my living room and it was like time to get time to get things moving. But that one would definitely be something that I would want to
Yeah.
showcase.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, your plane model plane is reminding me. I have this little. I have a cup. Let me show you. A
Hmm.
while ago, I bought a kit to make a little flower, like
I
it's a
love
wooden
it.
puzzle.
Oh my
It's a
god.
lilac, which is my favorite flower, but you can see it's not very much done. I have a lot of it left to do because it turns out it's a lot more intricate than I thought it was going to be. Like, I'm gonna finish this in like an hour, and I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna finish this in an hour. But yeah, I'm slowly plugging away on that. So I feel like
Oh, it's
if
so
you're into the
fun.
model plane, maybe you would like a wooden flower puzzle if you like
That
flowers.
would be at this point. I'm like, I think I'm willing to try other things that I normally would not think that I would be
Yeah.
into. Because, and again, unfortunately, the most tedious ones and tasks are usually the most gratifying, but so annoying to get through.
Yeah. Yeah. Eventually, I'll be really glad and proud of myself. And it's just not
Yeah,
yet.
right now we're just getting through it.
Exactly. All right. So, with a talk a little bit about hobbies and crafting, I think that makes a really nice transition to the main section where we get to talk all about Now or Never and the amazing things that you're working on over there. So, could you start maybe for anybody who hasn't heard of Now or Never, talk about like what it is and what people might expect if they go visit you?
Yeah, I would say it's a little bit of everything, which I know is like it's like I feel like it's an ADHD, ADD like dream because we are always trying something different and moving and grooving. But we have drop-in art cafe hours where you can come in and work on your own projects, or you can also order off our art menu or the art buffet and just have access to a bunch of materials and just play around. Just another place to kind of be creating, leaving your house, getting to be amongst people while you're creating. And then we also have been diving into a lot of workshops. So that's kind of where we're shifting a little bit more lately, is just really enhancing and expanding our workshop offerings. And then every once in a while, we do little fun events, different, just like we have like a slow market in collaboration with the Providence Crochet Club. We're trying to do a little bit more music stuff, and as hopefully the weather gets nicer, we'll do a little bit more outdoor things. We have a very cute shared courtyard. So, but yeah, we're just basically trying to allow people the time and space to explore their creative pursuits really and be in community with people while they're doing that, and really kind of just being another way for people to meet and using art as a medium to kind of break that like awkwardness and
Yeah.
yeah, bridge that.
I love that. So you talked a little bit about the inspiration of the shop. I don't know if I you should call it a shop or a club house. I don't know.
I think whatever feels best, whatever everyone can have their make their own experience with it. So
I love it.
sometimes we have shopping things.
So the inspiration is a little bit from the artist way. Um, is that was there any other inspiration? Because I know like this space is also it, from what I understand, really intentionally designed, and it's a dry space. And so like what were all of the other inspirational elements that came together to make Now or Never what it is?
Yeah. I feel like there's just so many layers to it, so I'll try to be as concise and not so all over the place. But for the majority of my time living in Providence, which I came to school here, so I graduated in 2018. I have even during college, I was often in a lot of creative kind of jobs. I went to school for event planning, and that has been what I have really kind of stuck to. So it was a lot of like operations and production for. I freelanced for the art, culture, tourism department. So we were just always kind of helping artists make their dreams come true, and just doing a lot of really fun events for the community, which has been really fulfilling. And I think again another catalyst of just witnessing a lot of what's happening in Providence already, and just being exposed to all the amazing artists and creatives and doers in the city. But I just never felt like I was ever taking my creative desires and passions into consideration or really spending any time doing it. A little bit was like intimidation of just not feeling like, unfortunately, just not feeling like good enough to be like an artist. And
Mhm.
especially we are so lucky to be living in the creative capital that there are just a lot of really really talented people that either have been doing this for a very long time or just sometimes are a little bit more naturally gifted. So I weirdly enough felt kind of like an outsider, even though technically artists are considered to be like outsiders already. So it was just kind of interesting to kind of like observe those feelings. And then over time, I started really dabbling in my art, and actually even like the puzzles too was just really fun. Just like playing around with hobbies and just again trying to be off my phone a little bit. And I just was really enjoying it. And especially I've noticed like during times of like turmoil or when like things happen and every like things that happen in every day, every person's lives that you don't really foresee coming. Um, it was really helpful to have all these hobbies already at hand and having things to kind of just either distract you or help you feel better or navigate navigate it with something positive in your life too. So after dealing with that for some time too, it was just so eye-opening, and I was wondering that if this was so helpful for me, I'm assuming that it would be really helpful for other people to have that offered more readily
Mhm.
available. So it was a combination of that, and then also realizing that I wanted to pursue my creative desires really, and then with that part of just always working in events, kind of wanting to dabble in events on my own too, versus like I love working in a team too, so that's kind of been like a little bit difficult right now that I've been doing a lot on my own, but um, kind of just wanted to test the waters on my own and see like what I can also do. And the last part of this is again just making friends. And I feel like there's so many changes in life where sometimes you have a really tight knit group of friends, and then like people are moving or whatever the case may be, changes in life, changes in like what you're into. So just trying to be a part of community more. And although I love working at a brewery, I love obviously going for a drink or two, but I feel like I just have not been able to connect with people the way that I had wanted to. So just trying to have another social space in Providence that is not just centered around drinking, and making a little bit more intentional pursuits with friends.
Yeah, I love that. And I love the idea of creating friendships around like something that you're doing together and experiencing together, but that also allows you to explore your creative assets and like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just actually so we just had our library conference this week, and one of the sessions that we hosted as part of the lineup was a networking and collage making session. So we are just like
Mm-hmm.
at a table collaging separately, but also talking with each other about all kinds of things like our favorite coffee places and like how we like our eggs and our animals
Mm-hmm.
and all kinds of things. And it breaks that tension a little bit of meeting a new person across the table when you don't have to like make direct eye contact and feel like all of this pressure, right? To like
Exactly.
perform in this social environment because you're like doing something with your hands at the same time.
Exactly. It's kind of like almost like when you go to a bar, you have a drink in your hand as
Yeah.
your like safety crutch, but instead now it's like we have a craft and you can talk if you want, or you can work on your project and you can be inspired by what someone else is working on. And like there's always something to talk about because
Mhm.
you can either talk about what you're working on or like what was the inspiration behind it or just your interest too. So it's a lot low pressure way to kind of be connecting with people and also yourself too. It's really like eye opening what you end up making or what inspires you and kind of like impress yourself with what you're able to create.
Yeah. Do you find that people are comfortable coming to the space on their own if they don't know anybody who's going to be there either for the art drop in or for a workshop, or do people tend to come with other people?
I would say, especially for our workshops, I would use like 95% of people come alone. Uh, there are often times where like duos come together, or for like the drop-in hours that can also happen. But I would say a lot of people do come alone, which I find really beautiful and brave. That it's kind of also like with the artist way too. A little like the artist date is what they kind of call it. And I love any kind of dynamic, but I love when people come alone because then they're usually a lot more open to talking to other people and kind of being a little bit more free or like what they're creating. But
Mhm.
yeah, people come alone all the time.
I love that. And so what has been like the workshop or the event that you've hosted in the space that's been the most surprisingly engaging for you?
Yeah. In terms of like what people have been coming to the most, the two I would say is the Crochet Club. That one is a free club that we have mainly on Wednesdays. It does change, so I'd always look at our calendar to make sure that we're having it. And then also our junk journaling, but anything collage has been really well received, and people just really love again. I think it's also because it's a little bit more uh, low pressure, and you don't necessarily need to be like in quotes an artist or have that intense of a creative vision to kind of just dabble in that. But yeah,
Mhm.
anything kind of paper related. And astrology related, which I'm glad people are resonating with that because I love astrology.
I know I saw that you've hosted a tarot collage program, which
hmm
sounds so cool.
Yeah, we have had two sessions of collaging the major arcana. This the most recent one will be about collaging through the tarot deck. So we're opening up the whole deck now. But yeah, it's been really fun to have people pull a card, and then whatever card they get the time to kind of just reflect upon it and either make up their own interpretation of it or just kind of copy the card that they got. But what's been really interesting is a lot of times people have come in being like, oh, I hope I don't really get this card, or like just kind of really resonating with the message that they receive. And they're like, I really did not want to hear this, but this is actually something I really need to work on right now. So I guess I have to accept it.
That's the point, right? Like that's tarot, that's astrology. Is it's not about what you want
Yeah,
to hear, it's about what you need to hear.
exactly. Exactly.
Is there a kind of workshop or craft or hobby thing that you haven't hosted yet, and now or never, that you like is your pie in the sky you'd really love to make it happen?
Yeah, I think right now something that a lot of people have been asking for, and I've been kind of wanting to dabble in myself, has been sewing related projects
Okay.
and lino cut, which is kind of those like rubber stamps.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that in the very foreseeable future we'll be able to expand to those. But yeah, there's been a lot of requests for those too.
Yeah. Are those things that you've ever done yourself personally?
Yeah, I haven't done the lino cut yet, which I've been wanting to, and I might just attempt it soon because I want my own stamp too. But I have done some sewing. Just I'm not sure if everyone also went through the same thing, but it feels like oftentimes people talk about their eighth grade home ec sewing
Yeah.
lessons. So I also have made a pillow, also have had some time around the sewing machine, and my mom just recently gave me her sewing machine, so I've been like playing around with it
Mhm.
lately. So I have been dabbling with the machine. I've done a lot of hand sewing, just like minor repairs on clothing
Mhm.
or that kind of thing, but I wouldn't call myself like a seamstress by any means. So we're not there yet.
Yeah, I feel like the eighth grade home ec thing is going to be dying very soon, or like the people who have that memory. But I also
Yeah.
definitely still at my parents' house. There's a pillow that I made in eighth grade. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And that's why I had a lot of what's the word? Just I feel like I knew how to use a sewing machine because I used it like a handful of times in the eighth grade. So I'm like, I
Mhm.
know how to do this. There is still some muscle memory, but there's still a lot of learning to
I
be
was gonna
had.
say, yeah, I feel like I have this overconfidence with sewing. I'm like, absolutely, I could sew a whole
Exactly.
outfit in record time. And if you were to sit me down at the machine, I'd be like, what does every button do? I don't remember
No,
any of this.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like also I hear half of it is just you playing and fighting with the machine. So
Getting strings stuck, it's knotted. Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah. I found that I would love to get back into sewing as well. And I know that
Hmm.
my mom has a machine that she would like love for me to finally take. I live in too small of a space right now to like take on that kind of a project. But I also am a corner cutter. I'm a close enough is good enough kind of person, and I know that that has screwed me over in the past with
Oh,
sewing. So
100%.
I'm a little nervous.
I, lo- I love that too. I'm like, I'll see a whole plan of instructions. I'm like, I think I know I don't need to read that. I know what to do. And then like halfway through, I'm like, if I would have just read the instructions, this would have been a lot easier.
Yeah. If I had just measured this, if I had actually ironed it, 'cause, like who wants to iron? Yeah. You're like,
Exactly. Oh, it's
yeah,
always a measuring too.
absolutely. Uh, okay. What is, oh, this is a good question. Here I am patting myself on the back. So I've been in this space. I came to the Pachakacha that was hosted at Now or
Mm.
Never, and so I've been in this space, but not as it is fully intended. And I'm really excited to be able to get there soon. But do you have a favorite nook in this space, like when you're hosting the art cafe and everything is kind of set out freely?
Yeah, I mean, I love our little living room area. I just find it super cozy. We have all of our furniture is thrifted, or our chairs are from like our table chairs are from Facebook Marketplace, but our living room area is just I find it very cozy, and we have this like chalkboard table that people can just write on. So it's been really like very, very sweet when we have a Wednesday morning group that meets and they know one of our crochet club members, so they leave messages for them on the table. So it just makes our heart so so warm.
Oh,
So I love our living room area. I think once we are able to be outside more with more consistent weather and we get our shared furniture, I think I'm gonna be spending a lot of time outside because it's
nice.
revamped. There's a little tree there. There's a lot of green. So definitely the courtyard has been in my eye for some time. Um, but if not just that too, I kind of like this little the buffet area that we're kind of starting to build out. I just like seeing all the crafts and all the mediums and tools out too. So I would say those two areas for sure.
Cool. And so, where can people find more information about Now or Never and what you're doing?
Yeah, I feel like Instagram might be the best way to keep up to date with what is changing, what we're doing, and what is happening. We do have a website, nonpvd.com, where we are also updating. We put the calendar and the events that we have. And we are dabbling again in the TikTok of it all because a lot of people have actually come through from that. So trying to get on all the platforms, but Instagram has been the easiest and most consistent for us.
Anything else that we didn't cover that you really want to make sure people hear about?
No, I feel like we covered most of it, but I just always want to encourage people that whether they just moved here or they lived here their whole lives, if they are interested and intrigued about trying anything new and just seeing if it's something that they like, definitely encourage them to come to one of our workshops or even just drop in. I feel like it's better to just try and see if it's something that you like versus like wondering your whole life if this is something that you would have actually enjoyed. And then you don't have to buy all the supplies before
Mhm.
you dive into something and it turns out that you're not really a fan of it. But yeah, you can kind of just make your own experience when you come and visit. So whether if it's a workshop or you kind of just want to spend some time alone, like we could you get to choose your own experience, and you can participate at any level of capacity that you kind of want.
Nice. That's funny. That is a thing that we talk about a lot in libraries is, especially with now the Library of Things, libraries really building this collection of things that is not just books, but sometimes it's craft supplies. Sometimes it is lino cut materials, or like they're hosting those kinds of things. Right. And so like dabbling, trying before buying, but
Mm-hmm.
really just, I just absolutely love Now or Never's philosophy of bringing people together around art and like trying it with other people. Go hang out, like, and even if it's just next to somebody else during the art cafe, you know, try meet some people who might inspire you to do something maybe you didn't think about doing before.
Yeah.
And that actually reminds me, I also wanted to ask you a little bit about or have you talk a little bit more about the Crafting Friendship series that you've all been
Mm.
hosting. And like I think I can imagine where that came from, but talk about where that came from and like and how that's going.
Yeah. A little bit has been just we kind of wanted to do something similar to that during like the Galentimes because we didn't really want to do like a dating series. We just wanted to do more like a friendship related series. And I always just try to incorporate art as any kind of like event or production that we're really having in our space. I would love to try to keep it as much art oriented as we can.
Mhm.
But what I have found that in the time that we've been there, since we've been open since September, is that more often than not, people are really there for the connecting and making friends and finding community more so than they are really for making the art. Like they're there for that. They're like crafters. They come with their like tool belt of like or toolbox kit of like crafts. Like there's some serious crafters in there, but often I think everyone is just kind of looking for someone to do these things with or just kind of leave their house. And we've been really lucky enough to have a lot of like regulars, which I never thought I'd have the honor of saying. And so it's just been very like overwhelmingly beautiful to witness a lot of these same faces coming repeatedly and interacting with each other and over time kind of building that rapport of like I saw you at this event and then I saw you at
Mhm.
this and then kind of just seeing them organically kind of build this relationship over time and as they come to more events they're more comfortable to kind of talk to each other sit next to each other catch up and invite each other to things and because I think we are kind of have a very specific demographic that likes to do a lot of these fun activities are they also go to other events in the city or beyond so you're likely to run into some of these familiar faces while you go there too so it's just been kind of like another way to familiarize yourself with the people that are actively participating in your community and that yeah so that kind of led to having a more intentional event workshop where we're combining the crafting and having people all together in a room that are seriously trying to make connections to and then yeah we also have a lot of people that have just moved to Providence that come here too so integrating them with the people that grew up here and then the people who just moved here is just like the hope and hoping that they love Providence as much as we do and like caring about what's happening in the community too because I feel like if you're with those people you'll like kind of expedite that process.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing about this. I hope everybody who listens that likes crafts even just a little bit goes and checks out Now or Never and maybe meets a new friend and maybe finds the right hobby and craft for you to get you hooked forever. Because I'm a crafty hobby collector too. You can see like some of the stuff don't look too much in my apartment, but um, I like I like to have my hands in a lot of different hands-on things. So
Exactly.
huge fan over here.
Yeah.
Um, so we wrap the show with a segment that we call the last chapter, where we talk about a library or bookish related question. And you talked about this a little bit with doing the heated rivalry screenings, but I know you've done some others. So I thought that I would ask you, what is a book that you would love to get a screen adaptation of, whether that's a movie or a TV series? I can go first if you want me to.
Yes, please.
Um, so a few years ago, we had, so I also participate in the Reading Crossword Island program. And so our
Mm.
Reading Crossword Island title was Firekeeper's Daughter. And there was teased that it was optioned for a TV series made by the Obamas, have like a film studio apparently, or have production rights within a film studio. And so that was optioned, but it has not yet come to fruition. And I am waiting on bated breath for that book to become a TV series. I think it would be so phenomenal. If you're not familiar with it, it's an Indigenous story set on a reservation. And the young girl, something happens to the young female protagonist's friend, and she sets out to like solve the mystery. And so it's a little bit of a murder mystery, kind of true crime, set in this Indigenous backdrop. Obviously, a commentary on the lost women in Indigenous culture that, you know, people don't. Our society doesn't really invest as much resources in discovering and solving their crimes. And so she's like 18, she's going to college, she like takes it into her own hands, and it's like so well done as a book, and it would be such a phenomenal adaptation.
Oh, that's really interesting. I feel like I feel like I read way too much nonfiction to that like that I feel like none of these books will really make it. I'm like, unless it's a self-help TV show, then like then like oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so stumped.
That's okay. Do you have a favorite adaptation of a book that you read as like a kid, or recently that you were like so jazzed that it became an adaptation, or one that you like to return to?
Yeah, I feel like I hate to be a part. I feel like I just like everyone else. I love Twilight, and that
Oh
was
yeah.
really like that was just I feel like I still watch it from time to time, and we still always reference it, and we always bring it up. So I feel like they really did Twilight justice. Maybe some of the later movies not as much, but like definitely the first couple ones.
Yeah.
Love Twilight.
I love that. And they just had their like, was it the 15th? I don't want to overshoot it. Of how old Twilight is.
Yeah, they just had like their anniversary this past November, I think, which is crazy that so much time has passed.
Yeah.
Like, and it's still so relevant, and it's still so loved.
Yeah.
Which is phenomenal.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Elvira, for being here on the show. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for listening. If you'd like to respond to our last chapter question and tell us what book you would like to see adapted into a movie or TV show, or just reach out to the show, send us an email at overdoingitpod@gmail.com or find us on Instagram at overdoingitpod. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with a friend and rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube to help us reach more Rhode Islanders. Overdoing It is proud to be a resident partner of the Rhode Island Center for the Book and is brought to you by library staff and community members all around the Ocean State. The project has been funded in part by the Rhode Island Office of Library and Information Services. Thanks again for listening. This has been another episode of Overdoing It, the Rhode Island Library Podcast. We are overdoing it, but you're doing just fine.